The thoughts and opinions on Just Some Podcast are of the hosts and guests and do not represent the views of organizations that employ them or they volunteer for. They are also not responsible for spontaneous black holes or nuclear wars that may occur. You have been warned.
In this episode, we discuss adult content, sexually suggestive language, and topics. We recommend not listening with children in the car and probably not safe for work. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome, everybody, to another fun-filled, exciting, and special live episode of Just Some Podcast. This is Tom. Hey, this is Ben. Tom, man, how's it going?
Well, so let's see here. We were supposed to start at 10. And before we go any further, actually, I want to back up. We have one of our very favorite and special guests, PollyAnna. She's with us tonight live.
Good evening, everybody.
There you go. See, there's that Venus flytrap midnight DJ special sexy voice she's got going on there. So we were supposed to start at 10 on another service, and we got kind of screwed over by technical difficulties. So, hey, 12 minutes in, it's not a bad start time. I mean,
not horrible for us. Yeah.
No, not horrible at all for us in any way. So, I don't know. But other than that, just busy, loving life. That's it. That's all I got to say. I'm also excited. It's our second ever live episode, so who knows what else is going to happen. Will my dog start barking? Well, who knows? That's what I'm expecting. I'm going 3-1 odds that this gets interrupted by a dog barking at some point. I'm just throwing that out there.
It'll be all right if it does.
I've already threatened people in my home, so it's all quiet over here.
Well,
it is for now. You just wait.
I got nothing for that either. I'm like,
as long as the server doesn't go down, we're all good, right?
Man. So that's also a very good point. We might as well tell all 4 people out there listening. I don't know how many people are listening. We don't have our technical stuff up because the other service kind of screwed us. So we don't have an ability to see what's going on with some of that right now. But if you are listening, we may have an issue as you are listening, and we are all in different spots recording this over the interwebs, and where Mr. Ben is maybe getting rocked with a good old-fashioned thunderstorm. So if the show suddenly cuts out, thanks for flying with us. I don't know what to do after that, but I'm just saying there's not much I can do to stop a thunderstorm.
That's true. I wish I could, but I can't. So yeah, we'll roll with it as long as we can. And I'm glad that it's Friday, Tom. It's been a long-ass week, and yeah, here we are.
Yes, here we are. How was your week, PollyAnna?
My week was fantastic. I spent the week in Colorado Springs, visited a lovely little venue called Red Rocks, and had an amazing time. My beautiful and wonderful cousin, Kimberly Moore, let us push around in her Porsche Cayman. So, life's terrible.
Sounds terrible. Yeah, sounds goddamn terrible.
Oh, it was terrible. Just terrible. But, we had a wonderful time. Colorado Springs is a dope place to visit if you ever get the chance.
Actually lived out there, but I was too young and it was too long ago for me to be able to enjoy any of it really. So
Gotcha. No, beautiful place, beautiful scenery, beautiful people. Food's delicious there. And by the way, there's no humidity or little humidity, that's for sure. Great place. Fantastic.
Now, Ben, I know you were a military brat. Did you ever live out west, out in that area?
No, not really. No, we did Oklahoma, Texas, Germany, and that was about it.
Yeah, I did the Germany route once, but yeah, no, got to live all over the place. So got to visit lovely places. I do really like Colorado. So all of our listeners out in Colorado, awesome job, great state. Love what you did with the place. So
keep up the good work, fellas.
keep up the good work. Yeah,
You're
awesome job.
You're such a dummy. Oh,
well, I've been called worse.
That's true.
I've been called worse.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, West Coast definitely has a different vibe. That's for sure. Most definitely.
But see, do you consider Colorado really West Coast?
I guess it's more west than we are right now, for sure. Yeah, I guess
3/4 of the country is west of where we are right now. 75% of America is west. I was saying, because usually they say west of the Rockies. I'm like, well, you can't really say that with Colorado now, can you?
No,
I didn't realize that Oklahoma was on the West Coast, but now I learned something. See, I always learn something every time Polly is on the show.
Everything west of Frankfurt,
I am not an expert in geography. Oh my gosh. Okay, so west of Ohio for sure.
Yes.
She's thinking soon
she
won't be in
show.
Ohio.
Yeah,
that's right.
She's thinking you didn't bring me on the show.
I'm not here to talk about the map of the United States. I'm here to talk about the map of you, Tom and Ben.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, see?
That's right.
Oh, when
nothing
she says
but
it like
sex,
that,
right, Tom?
No.
Nothing but sex.
Look, we can talk about it. Oh, nothing but sex. I was like, oh, okay.
Nothing but sex, Tom. See what you did there?
I get what you. I like it. Yeah. Because
that's what we're here for.
No, I think it's funny to bring up that because we talked about it a little bit while we were trying to iron out. I shouldn't say while Ben was trying to iron out technical difficulties. We had a little conversation because the last show was very successful. Lots of people responded to that one, and there seemed to be a little mini movement based on me saying my one rule with sex really is nothing illegal and nothing goes in me. And there seems to be a small internet movement about now they're determined for me to try that. And I'm like, So that's why I was laughing so hard when she was like butt sex. I'm like, no, that's not. It's not a thing. That's not a thing for Tom.
Just Tom. It could be. You just, again, it's kind of like pizza. You didn't know you liked it till you tried it. Right.
Okay. There's not enough oxy in the world to make me think that butt sex on me is like pizza. So I'm just saying.
Wow.
There's no amount.
So many ways I could go with this, but okay. No. Ben, let's move ahead.
Please. So let's get our social media shout out of the way so we can get into this episode. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all at Just Some Podcast. You can find us on the web. We're at www.justsomepodcast.com, or you can email us, admin@justsomepodcast.com. Generally, this is on mixer.com. However, we are having some streaming issues there, so we are broadcasting live on Facebook live right now. Don't forget, you can also find us on Helium Radio After Dark, Channel 2, Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central. Tom, you silly bastard. What else can they do?
Well, first of all, they can listen to me. I have decided for the rest of season 2, in case anybody forgets, I'm going to try to trip you up while you're doing that. That's why I started talking. So I know. I just want them to know that I know that you knew about what I was knowing. Yes. So what else they can do is they can go to the Just Some Podcast website down towards the bottom of the page. If they scroll down just a little bit, they can see the affiliate link to Amazon where they click on that. It takes them right into their Amazon shopping experience, and they can do all the shopping, whatever they buy at that point forwards. A small proceed comes back to us, and we truly appreciate it. Then other than that, I don't I don't know. They can do some other stuff. I'm sure plenty of the stuff that PollyAnna is going to discuss tonight, they can purchase on there. And I know for a fact some of it does because we've had people purchase it on our Amazon affiliate link. So I'm just saying, I support it. I'm all down for it. So
You're welcome.
So Miss PollyAnna, I know you have got loads of social media stuff you want to discuss. So let's just get that out of the way.
I do. You can find me on Facebook. The site is Pleasure Pathways. It's at New Neural Pathways for Life. Also on Instagram at Pleasure Pathways. And I have a website, pleasurepathways.com. The reason why Pleasure Pathways is New Neural Pathways for Life on Facebook is because somehow, somewhere, somebody has a problem with the word pleasure. So you
Shocker.
can't say pleasure often.
What?
Yeah. I'm telling you, you just
all
can't.
The problems of the world, and pleasure is the problem.
Negative connotations with pleasure, always. But we're going to change that. We're going to heal the world one orgasm at a time, by the way. That's how we roll.
I am happy to be part of that process.
That's right.
Let's get on that.
My beautiful friend Lori told me that today. Lori McCracken, RN, beautiful person. She's one of my, she is the greatest, most awesome Tantrika best friend that a girl could have. I'm going to tell you because she has some great knowledge. That's true. True. She's a great lady. She was a nun and is now a Tantrika. Just so throw that out there.
That's quite an interesting transition, it sounds like.
Hey, I'm telling you, she's got a great story. You have to look her up online too, LaurieMcCracken.com. She's great.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. Well, Tom, should we get into our story before we get into the main meat of the episode with PollyAnna?
Yeah, I mean, we can. Just
so
whatever.
So I found a story, and initially, it was one of those like clickbait headlines, and so I was like, "Wow, paramedic told his bosses to go fuck themselves," and I was like, "Well, that's interesting. Let's read more."
Yes.
So
you have my attention.
Yeah, I was like, interesting. Okay. Well, then come to find out, it's actually kind of a sad story. Somewhat.
I don't want a sad story.
Well, I know, but I'm sorry. So, this gentleman, his last name is, that was nice, Tom. That was nice for the live show.
That's why I did it, to be completely honest. I'm like, screw it. Let's have fun with this.
So this was a paramedic. His last name, or his first name is Nicholas. So he got called out to a woman in her car who was homeless. She was laying across the rear seats. And so basically she was surrounded by her bags of her possessions and stuff. The disciplinary panel found that he did not perform any specific observations other than looking at her through the car window. So he failed to put into place effective safeguarding measures and left her alone in the car, delegating responsibility to the police and leaving the scene before they arrived. Sadly, it sounds like she was in some congestive heart failure and ended up passing away prior to the police arriving. So he got investigated, and here's where you kind of see some burnout, perhaps some moral injury. Tom, he sent several emails to his bosses. One said, quote, "Do not contact me again. See you next Tuesday," which if anybody, you can see, yeah. Okay. And another message with the subject heading "twunts," that's TWUNTS, which I think is kind of an interesting combination of two words. Called the regulatory staff a seriously ugly, bottom-feeding, subnormal, moronic, sorry excuse for human beings. And he added that I'm no longer practicing as a paramedic, so I would sincerely suggest that you and the company go fuck yourselves. So, he was basically disciplined to the point of no longer having a license. So it was a I said it was kind of a clickbait articles as far as the title, but kind of a sad story in the other ways. But that's what I have, Tom.
Wow. We came in with all this live energy, and
and then I killed it.
You go. Yeah, you go. Wow. So, yeah, it does seem like this guy probably had dealt with some ignorant choices before. And again, or maybe he was a bad paramedic and this was the way they found a way. I don't know. I would want to know more about the story. I did have some questions, though. First of all, that string of words, like the bottom feeder.
Yes.
In my head, I was thinking, is that whole thing hyphenated? Like, I mean, it's technically one term. Like he's describing them in one fashion. So I just didn't know that. I was like, that's it. Two, and we had this discussion last time PollyAnna was on the air. Is he called him "see you next Tuesday"? So is that like, is he using the body terms in a negative connotation?
Yes. Oh,
like,
look at you! Look at your remembering stuff from the last show, Tom.
Hey, listen though, if you guys if you've never run as a paramedic or run in an EMS situation, well, I mean, like police officer kind of stuff is a little bit different, right? Yeah. That's a high stress, like that's a rough job. It's a thankless job.
But here's my. It is very thankless, and to my brothers and sisters out there sleeping and getting paid for it. I think you guys
just
do a great
say sleeping
job,
and getting paid for it.
Yeah, I know.
Listen, I'm going to represent for the lovely folks in EMS in Portsmouth, Ohio, especially Portsmouth, Chillicothe, Jackson, Ohio. Those guys, and even in Columbus. Listen, a nap here and there, private EMS. Listen, town. You have an overdose every 5 minutes. Those are some hardworking folks. Those are my people. I love those people.
They are.
They are some hardworking folks. They all know who I'm talking about, too. Some hardworking folks.
They're very hardworking, and I think everybody in the EMS world knows that. Just Some Podcast loves them to death. I just got to give them. I have to give them some trouble, though. But back to my question, since this is a sex episode. My gosh, words are hard. So let's get into this. Yeah. The reason I brought that up is PollyAnna. What's your opinion when someone is being a "see you next Tuesday"? Can I still call them a "see you next Tuesday"?
What you want to remember is that, again, the word "cunt," "see you next Tuesday," comes from. Listen, boom. It comes from. It's a French word for trench, right? So it's put whatever negative connotation behind it. If you're unhappy with somebody, look at them and say, dude, I'm unhappy with you. I just don't appreciate you. You don't have to go so far as to say, see you next Tuesday.
Call you a French trench.
Yeah,
try that one. Yes. That's much better. Yeah. That's much better. But yeah, I mean, have I ever done that in the past? Yep.
I know you have. Yeah.
I sure have. But I am trying to be a better person these days. Trying really hard.
Ben, what do you think
about
literally the question I just asked? Maybe
ask her. Can you call somebody that?
Yeah, like what do you think, Ben? Like, since we're trying to be more sex positive and body positive, do you still think it's okay for us to use that?
That's not a word that I use very often. I will say that.
What a nice gentleman you are, Ben.
Well. That's not a word I use very often, so we'll just leave it at that.
Fantastic.
Okay. So since she brought up and just said "cunt" right on the air. By the way, that's my wife's favorite cuss word, so I hear it more often than I care to say. I actually heard an ER nurse say that there was something worse when she was talking about soda. She called him an ankle.
Oh.
Have you heard this reference?
An ankle.
Ben?
I have not. No.
So an ankle is 3 feet lower than a "see you next Tuesday." So I was like, God damn! I didn't think you could get a lot worse than that. But so French trench might be the new. That should be the hashtag for this.
Oh yeah,
French trench. Yeah. But I here's my only thing is it has nothing for me to do with a body image issue. It has to do with a power of the language issue, and we all know the connotation that comes along with a word like cunt. If you say that, you understand directly, without equivocation, exactly what I'm trying to say to you. And so that's why I'm saying perhaps there are occasions where I still think I'd be like, nope, this is an occasion where that needs to be employed. Maybe not that word specifically. I'm saying words such as that.
Okay.
That's just purely opinion. And I look at her, she's so they can't see us, but we can see each other, and she is just eye daggers while she's taking a drink of that water. So,
I'm just hanging out listening
right,
to what's going on. But let's move on.
okay.
See,
Yeah,
please. I like her. See, she's just like, let's get okay.
Oh gosh.
So we put out for some questions, and we have chat going on as well. So hey, Jason. Hey, RJ. How are you guys?
Oh God. How do I?
I want to say hi to some people too. I want to say hi to Simone and to Amy and Ryan Benson, you sweetheart, and Russ Mullins, my favorite. Missy. Hi, guys. Oh, my gosh. Jennifer and Tara and Hatso. Girl, what's up?
Wow,
oh, my gosh.
She's got quite a crew going.
I do have quite a crew. There's more. Right? There's so many more. But, yeah. You know, like, people like to talk to me. You know, you've seen it.
I can do that.
I just...
So we did put out for some questions, PollyAnna.
Oh, yes.
And so we're going to discuss some of those, and we may get some more that pop up in our chat along the way, and we can certainly discuss those as well. But one of the first questions that we had in one of the nurse practitioner groups that Tom and I are a part of, because if anybody's seen our advertisements for this episode, you were able to see a picture of PollyAnna. So PollyAnna.
Yes.
The audience wants to know, cleavage, real or fake?
Oh, it's real. It's been real for a long time. It's sometimes it's a monster of its own. Listen, when I was trying to pick out this picture, I sent Tom, like I was sitting beside Tom and said, hey, what do you think would be the best picture for this advertisement? And he's like, that one. Hands down, that one. Is that your face? No, don't want the face. Where's the cleavage?
So first of all, I was very definitive. She is correct. But I never said don't put your face in there. I said you can't go wrong with either of these. However, I would clearly pick this one. So
I've got to Tiffany, God love your heart. She says it's real, guys. It's real. It's a true story. It's all real. I come from some big bone ladies. That's all.
So we got the important question out of the way.
Okay, important question out of the way.
Yeah, I'll mark that one off. So let's. So one of the questions that we had was in regards to. Let's just jump right into it.
Okay.
BDSM.
All right. So, BDSM. Do you know what it means? BDSM. What it stands for? Do you know what it stands for?
Bondage.
Sadist,
masochist. I don't know what the D is.
So, okay. So, you know, because I am an intellectual educator,
you are.
I am. I try to be. I went on search for some medical resources, some research material about BDSM, right? So bondage, discipline, dominance, submission, and sadomasochism, right? It's fantastic.
There you go.
BDSM is such a shortened term for that. Anyway, it seems like that in the United States, there's not a whole heck of a lot of research going on about BDSM. It all comes from...
Surprisingly enough, right?
I know. It all comes from Belgium and Sweden and all of those, you know, areas that are a whole lot more sex positive than here in the U.S. So what I found was that, again, not a whole lot going on. And in some of the articles that I found from the United States, honestly, they're calling that like a sexual deviant behavior, which is kind of, you know, it's a little bit, that's a label for you right there. Something that you don't want to, That's total label. And in the United States, we don't like labels. So I don't know how that's ever happened. But I kind of equate it with, okay, do you guys ever get massages, like hands-on body massage, like for relaxation or what have you? Like professionally yeah.
Are we speaking about like the professional massagers or like the little massage clinics that
No, like
Tom
I mean,
likes
like
to frequent?
Tom has never been to one.
No, I mean, like, for medical purposes, for relaxation, people go get massages.
Yes, I've gotten a massage.
Right. Okay. So some people enjoy that light pressure, Some people,
Yes.
myself included, I love a deep tissue massage. No lie. I want people to like put your elbows in my shoulders and all that kind of stuff. So BDSM for me, in talking with people about that, everybody has likes and dislikes about certain things. And I like a lot of pressure. Does that mean that, you liking a light pressure makes you different or odd or terrible, or me different or odd or terrible? No. So with things like bondage, the last podcast I talked about a guy who was talking about the sacred kink, the tying up the shibari. Lee Harrington is his name. I forgot his name the last time. I wanted to shout out to him. Fantastic, because you never know what you might like unless you try it. And I'm not telling people to go and get tied up and get scared. But what I'm trying to tell you is you can't make a decision, or you can't make a judgment on something that you know zero about. So become educated on it. There is a fantastic Facebook group called The Kaleidoscope. It's run by this amazing human being, Alexa Martinez. She's a great educator. She puts out this platform, this open forum, to allow people to get on there and ask questions. And, because there are some vanilla folks in the world, and there are some people who like it a little bit more spicy, So
that's true.
What I suggest for people who have questions about bondage and sadomasochism, don't think of it as some kind of crazy alt lifestyle. Think of it as that massage thing that I was talking about. Like, some people like it one way, some people like it another. So inform yourself. Don't just make these ideas up. Like, I don't think that all BDSM people are walking around with ball gags and leather chaps all day long with a whip hanging over their shoulder. That's not how it works. These are normal, everyday people who just have a proclivity for a little more excitement in the bedroom than others. And does that make them better or worse? No. You just have to educate yourself on that topic. I personally am not a purveyor of BDSM, so I don't feel like I'm qualified to discuss, at depth or at length the topic. But I do feel that people need to, if you're curious about it, read about it. Try it. There's articles out there that'll help you. The internet is full of so much stuff, but I do caution you to always find a source that is reliable, and don't just listen to the neighbor next door talking about it. You've got to find out the information.
I just had like an image in my head of people just walking around my neighborhood, like walking their dog in like assless chaps and ball gags. Like, oh, they don't do that? Like, you ruined the whole image I had in my head. Like, there was communities out there where that's what people are doing, and now I have nothing to go look for. My dream is over. I can't find that place.
Oh.
Well, I mean, like, seriously, my favorite massage therapist just popped on here too. Dre, I love you. I miss you very much. And he just said he popped on here just as soon as I started talking about massage. That's the greatest thing ever. Deep tissue massage. So maybe in that BDSM world, you have to think about, some people like it a little bit rougher than others.
True.
Okay,
so one of our other questions that we had was, let me get it pulled up here so I can make sure. What are some ways? Can you tell us some ways to increase libido in females without drugs?
One of the awesome things about Tibetan Tantra, which you guys know that's what I teach. One of the things is using thousands of year old Taoist practices, as well as using meditation from the Tibetan Buddhist practices. And there are proven ways to rejuvenate vaginal dryness, libido issues, by using your own body, by using things such as yoni eggs. Okay, yoni eggs. Did we talk about what yoni is? Again, yoni means sacred space. It is the vagina. There are natural eggs out there, natural stone eggs that you can purchase on Amazon, by the way, and you can use your guys' link for that. That will help. There are, there's one thing to do pelvic floor exercises, but when you incorporate the yoni egg inside the vagina, it gives you like a little barbell for your vagina. And speaking of that, barbells for your vagina, there's a great resource out there too. Her name is Betty Dodson. Now, this lady is 90 years old, and she has been a sex educator for years. She wrote a book called Sex for One, The Joy of Self-Loving. Now, the importance of that is, women, if you're not feeling like you are sexually satisfied, or you haven't had an orgasm for years, or maybe perhaps there's an issue from a trauma that you've had, from years ago that you've just never gotten over, there are practices that you can do to stimulate yourself, to get yourself in a better way, so that you're not having issues with low libido. And again, that goes back to making a date with yourself. Also, making a date with yourself so that you can learn to pleasure yourself, so that you have the knowledge to share with your partner. Or maybe you don't want a partner. Some people don't even want a partner these days. You never know.
So I'm just really glad, though, that we have PollyAnna on the air, because I also have people popping up that are apparently listening. And I would just like to make sure that it's very clear that there are people out in the world, some of them may be named Jason, that need a lot of this help. Especially on anything that will get a woman excited, because they clearly don't know how to do it themselves. So,
be nice.
We are always happy to have PollyAnna on here to help with that.
You got him all flustered already.
You know what? I do that. Yes, I do that quite frequently. It's okay.
And I would say that was also another thing I heard several times, was about the drain babies from last episode.
Drain babies.
Yes, that was I got a lot of messaging about drain babies. So finding time for myself has never been a problem. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Well, you need more than just 5 seconds in a shower, Tom.
Yeah, Tom.
5 seconds in a shower that's not loving yourself, Tom.
Hashtag 2 strokes. Come on, Tom.
I love how the prowess abilities of Tom just got rated at 2 strokes in a shower with no evidence. I might add. I just want to throw that all out there. So you guys are terrible people. I feel shamed now.
Don't feel ashamed.
See what you did.
Don't feel ashamed. What you do on your own time is your own business. But what I want you to try to do is pleasure yourself without actually physically ejaculating. That's what I want you to try.
That is like running a marathon and quitting at the finish line. That is the most.
No.
That's not.
It's
Why
like
the hell
training.
would I do all that?
Training for the marathon, Tom. It's like training for the marathon.
Well,
it's
maybe this is.
It's like couch to what is it? Couch to 5K. Have you seen those little things? Okay, it's like that. It's like some days it's just hard to get off the couch. Some days you just gotta take it slow. Take it slow.
Well, so here's what I'll say, and I understand, and I'm willing to recognize that there is some physical differences between men and women, especially when it comes to the orgasm department. But I will say, from the only perspective I can talk about, which is the male side on this, the whole point is the ejaculation, right? So I'm just saying, why the hell would I do
the whole point
all
is
of that?
Not ejaculation. See, that's
incorrect, ma'am.
The whole point, like what you're wanting to do, is orgasm, not ejaculate. Orgasm.
You know what? Okay,
you've got a valid point, Tom.
No. I was about to say, I absolutely stand corrected, but I'm pretty sure in the Tom universe, those two things are intertwined in a way that I'm not going to be able to separate yet.
Yes,
I understand that's the whole point of what we're talking about.
Never say never.
I understand. That's what the whole point of what we're talking about is learning new things, and that is one of the sex education things that we could talk about. I'm just saying, in my head, I'm like, man, that's pretty up there. I think I have other things in my life I could focus on to improve than that. So
okay.
Well, so talking orgasms, that can kind of
segue.
Slide into our next question.
Ooh,
I would say.
Slide.
Yeah.
I like it. Is this the part where we get to talk about natural lubes?
Well, we can either talk about natural lubes. Yeah, let's start there. Natural lubes. What are some things that we can do to assist with
that
lubrication?
So whenever women get, we start to get a little bit older. I'm right there. There are 4 key sex hormones that the ovaries produce, right? So as we are getting older, our ovaries are starting to get a little lacking because you're only born with so many eggs, right? So you have estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, and DHEA, which I will say that dehydroepiandrosterone. Hello, that's a big word, DHEA. Those begin.
That's why we use the abbreviation.
Yeah, right. That's why I use the abbreviation. So vaginal dryness becomes an issue for women, and nobody wants to have dry sex, right? It's uncomfortable. It's not good for the man. It definitely isn't good for the woman. So there are a few things. If you're the kind of person who doesn't like to get all greased up with, with lubes that are not natural, because there are a ton of lubes out there, and am I saying that they're terrible? No, but some women, have the need to be more natural, and the rule is, you're so funny. Okay, sorry, they're showing me pictures it's just terrible. Sorry, guys. Anyway,
pictures, hell, that's on my nightstand table.
That's on his nightstand. Oh, geez. At least you're practicing Astroglide.
Yeah, where's that sponsorship?
Wow. Okay. So the rule of thumb for natural or for lubricants for females is, if you wouldn't put it in your mouth, don't put it in your vagina. Ha. Did you know this?
We're talking. Wait. So we're talking
about lubricants.
If you wouldn't put it in your
mouth,
okay. I'd be like, you're gonna need to specify.
If you wouldn't put lubricant in your mouth, don't put it in your vagina. Now, you could there are oral supplements that you can take. Stop. It's just oral.
I'm just thinking, like, that Kentucky jelly tastes kind of funny.
Jesus God almighty. All right. This is true. Don't eat KY jelly. But there's something called sea buckthorn oil that you can get it at natural food stores for sure. Sea buckthorn oil. And it helps reduce vaginal dryness for females. Something else you can use, coconut oil is always available. Everybody has coconut oil these days. You can use that. When it's cool, it's solid. When it's warm, it gets all liquidy. You can also add some wonderful tea tree oil and chamomile to that. Just remember, when you're using oils, don't use them on your skin. Skin-to-skin contact with oils can sometimes be caustic, so you need a carrier oil for that. So, also, there is ghee. Do you know what ghee is? Clarified butter-like substance. Yeah. You can buy it in the grocery store. The GHEE ghee.
No.
it's fantastic. Find some, Ben, and replace that Astroglide with something natural.
Yeah.
It works really well. Yeah, it's really silky smooth kind of a thing. Now, anytime you mix up your own natural lubes, and there's a million recipes on the internet. I just like to use regular oils personally, just like coconut oil.
Butter oil.
Or you can use olive oil
Peanut
too,
oil.
by the way.
Popcorn, Redenbacher's.
If you wanted to throw a
popcorn.
stick of regular butter, you guys are so cute. You have to be careful with the pH of the vagina, though. So just remember that. That's why the tea tree oil and chamomile natural oils are good, because they can help, maintain your pH balance in your vagina.
All right.
You guys don't have to worry about that. But your female partners do, so just always be considerate of their
but
vaginas.
what if the girl is the one that's like, nah, I'm cool with it, let's get this on? They don't care about the ghee. Like what I'm saying, or let's put it this way: are there brands that are better or less harmful to the pH balances, etc., than other lubes? Like if I'm going to use a synthetic, what's the go-to?
I use one that's called Shibari. That's like honestly, I don't know the natural ingredients in it or unnatural. Anything that you buy on the shelf that's going to sit there for a while absolutely will have some sort of preservative or something in it that's going to keep it. When you use your natural lubes, they have to be used within a few days. You refrigerate them some.
A few days?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is out for me.
I mean, like, you're not going to mix up 50-gallon drum, Tom.
I would like to.
Tom might. You don't.
I'm pretty sure we've actually specifically said that 55-gallon drum. So
you cannot mix up a 55-gallon drum of natural. Well, I mean, I guess you could. You could put it in a hot tub. I'm looking on
Amazon as we speak for a 55-gallon drum of ghee oil. Hold on a second. So keep going.
Oh, you're so cute.
So
don't tell him that.
I'm just saying, if that's on there, hold on, 55. No, I mean you can keep talking. I'm just saying, I'm actively looking.
Okay.
So, PollyAnna, is there a?
There is one for personal lube though.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, this conversation is going great.
It is.
So, is there a better position for, say, the female orgasm and the male orgasm than other positions?
That's one of those questions where you have to say it depends on the person. Yeah, I mean, because some people, I particularly am a on top kind of girl because I like that feeling. There are some women that orgasm fantastically in a doggy style position or in a missionary position. There are, is there a specific position that you like, Tom?
The one where a chick's with me. So, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
No,
good answer.
So it's different for women.
I have an update. I am looking at
okay.
at least 7 different 55-gallon drums of lubricant in price ranges from $1,500 to $4,300. There is even one. I don't think I would use though as a personal lubricant because I just learned about vaginal safety because it just says all-purpose lubricant. That sounds like I could degrease an engine with that thing as well. So, no, I guess I don't have a preference myself. It's if she is happy, I know she's going to make me happy. So that's what I care about.
Okay. It's a good thought.
Okay. You see how defeated she sounded? Okay.
I know. You're like, all right. Good job, Tom. Way to disappoint.
Yeah, exactly. God.
It's okay, Tom. No, I mean, position is...
I'm disappointing them over microphones and in real life now. I am a dual threat. So there you go.
And you have giant babies. Who knew? So...
exactly.
Position wise, is there that golden position? No, it has to do with your body habitus. Obviously, it has to do with how flexible you are. If your back's hurting, if your arms are hurting, if your knees are hurting, you just gotta get comfortable, and you have to be able to communicate with your partner about what makes you comfortable or what makes you feel best. That's the key right there, is the communication about that.
Well, what makes me feel best is a Passion Lubes Passion 100% silicone personal lubricant 55-gallon drum. So
I cannot wait. You know what's going to happen? Somebody's going to hear this and send you a giant 50-gallon drum of lubricant, and it might not be me. I don't know.
I will literally dunk my entire body in it and then try and be like, "Hey, woman, come home from work."
Can we do a Facebook Live
Let's see
of
what
that
happens.
one? That'd be dope.
No, I'm pretty sure there's laws against that.
You're probably right.
Oh god. So, we have some questions popping up on Facebook, most of which are incoherent because they're morons. But what I would say is, I think one of these is actually a legitimate question, which is, why do some women have trouble with orgasm during intercourse? And I mean, I know you just laid out some things, but I mean, can we deep dive that maybe a little more?
Do you want to deep dive an orgasm on females? That's fantastic, Tom. I'm glad you brought that up. Okay. Anyway.
I'm going to dive in that just after I dive in that 55-gallon drum of video.
So why is it hard for women to orgasm? A million things. Sometimes women have a hard time relaxing in the situation that they're in, right? Sometimes women have a grocery list, they have a kid to pick up, they have a mother with Alzheimer's hanging around the door knocking on it. Yeah, that happens. These are all things that go into, sometimes women just, have a difficult time having an orgasm because maybe they've never had one. Maybe they've never explored themselves to know how to have one. Maybe they've never been with a partner that thought enough of them to help them have an orgasm. And having a partner that communicates with you is probably the most important part. And if you're feeling frustrated that you can't have an orgasm and you're not really talking to your partner about it, then that's something you have to take responsibility for. A lot of people are not comfortable about talking about sex. They're just not. There's a lot of negative connotations about sex in general. And here in the United States, it's like this terrible stigma. Whenever I say, hey, I'm a sex educator, but then I have to back it up with, I'm also a nurse practitioner. Because people look at me like, oh, you talk about sex all day to people? Yeah, I mean, I do. And I enjoy it. It's fantastic. But you have to also understand that lack of ability to get past the traumas that we've been put through in our lifetime with, don't make noise while you're having sex. Don't do this, don't do that. Don't act like you're too sexy. Don't be that, overtly sexual person because, hey, you're dirty if you do. So that's kind of the reason why I always explain to the ladies that I talk to that you've got to start exploring yourself. And some people can't because that deep-rooted religious belief that they were raised with, or, again, that thought that, oh, you're dirty, can't do that. That's not good. So things that you have to think about in that way. Speechless? Are we speechless over there?
Well, it was a speech. It's not speechless, is it? Now that it's live, sometimes I'm trying to make sure we don't walk on each other every time we talk, which I have a problem with. But
okay.
So here is something. So does that feed into the talk? And I know we talked about it a little bit, but like the women's libido. So like that all kind of runs together, right? So if they're not comfortable, then maybe that leads and just perpetuates their inability to have that orgasm,
right? And that's when we talked about setting up that sacred space so that if you're going to bring a girl home with you, please make sure your bedroom is clean, for the love of Pete. Or if you're going to bring a partner, whatever partner you're going to bring, please make sure that your area is clean and clear. Put on some nice music, have some candles, make it not smell, make it smell beautiful, not like garbage and dirty feet. these are all things you have to take into consideration, because sex is cerebral. It's not just you touching somebody's vagina or penis. It's up in your mind. It's
that seems pretty important, though.
Part about. Yeah, well, did you know that there are lots of people out there that can have orgasm without touching?
I've heard of that. I've also heard of unicorns.
I think we're.
Oh, geez.
Particularly, I think with females, though, if you can seduce the mind, lots of times.
That's it. Your brain is your largest sex organ, Tom.
Oh, speaking of, we had a question pop up in the chat.
Sweet Lord, of course.
Yes.
So, penis size, important? Not important? Thoughts?
I don't think it's important. I think that penis size to a man may feel important. But as a female, I'm going to say I've run the gamut of large to small, and and again, it's not necessarily about what the size is. It may be a different position that you might need to be in, or it may just be that it's a mind issue. You want to have that connection, that cerebral masturbation, Tom.
Well, I do it cerebral in the shower. Like, I'm versatile on that. So
don't tell Tom cerebral masturbation, because he's going to be like trying to jerk off his neck now, and you don't want that.
Rub my temples really hard.
Ooh. You guys are adorable.
I know people can't see the video feed, so they didn't get to just see some of that demonstration, but yeah.
I just can't even with you guys. It's great.
Well, I know that all sounds important. So then I guess the question is how do we convey that message? Because I will tell you right now, in the male community, that's not it. That's not it. Some people
about penis size?
Some people will say that. Like guys named Kyle, they always try to say it's not about size, but we know why they're saying it. The point is, though, is that, and she can't see the feed. That's why it's important for her to understand. I'll explain this to you later, PollyAnna. But I guess the point is so we know some of the things we have to work with women. Like, you have to be more comfortable with yourselves. How do we get it across to men that size is not the ultimate issue? Because I will tell you right now, that is ingrained in you as a young man. That's the only thing that counts. That's the only thing that women care about.
It's kind of the same deal with ladies and their breast size too. Like, women who have smaller breasts are a little bit more self-conscious sometimes. Not always, but again, it happens. How can we help men? Men, get in touch with yourself, not just in a sexual manner. That Betty Dodson, who I spoke about earlier, in her workshop, she does body sex workshops, and one of the things that you can start to do for females, again, you have to admire your own vulva, your own vagina, right? You get a mirror out, you check out your business, see what makes you different from other people. And a lot of women don't have any idea about what their parts or pieces are. We're lucky in the fact that we are medically trained. For men, you just have to come to terms with things. Right? You have to come to terms with your size. You have to come to terms with your weight. You have to come to terms with your hair or lack thereof.
Tom. So Christ Almighty!
That was awesome.
It was getting brutal on this.
So what you have to do is start appreciating what you have. You have to appreciate it. You look down at whatever size penis you have. Maybe you don't like the way that it looks. Maybe you don't like the fact that you were circumcised. Maybe you do like the fact that you were circumcised. You just have to look at yourself and say, you know what? I love me. I love me for who I am. I love my tiny penis. I love my ginormous penis. I love my middle-sized penis, whatever. You have to be accepting of yourself. And I can't teach people to accept themselves. They have to learn that on their own, right? You have to learn it on your own. And it's difficult, our body images are askew because of all these mass media. You need to look this way, you need to act this way, you need to be this way. Well, it doesn't necessarily always we're all not cookie cutter people, right? We're all made differently. We're just great.
So okay, so that leads into the crowd is just loving you, PollyAnna. So that leads into that leads into another question then. So if this all ties together, let's talk about a non-sex organ factor that may play a part is manscaping. Or
female scaping.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on trimming?
Yeah. Yes, like
so in some cultures, hair is revered, right? It's like a rite of passage for some people. For some ladies, they like to have a nice shaven vulva area. It's all, everything that we talk about is all going to be personal preference. There are some men that get turned up about, like hairy women. There are some men that are just like absolutely like disgusted by it. So one of the things you have to think about is, okay, I'm going to discuss this with my partner, but how about first off, let's talk about how you feel about it. If you're the kind of guy who wants to shave his chest and because you're a hairy beast or something, maybe that's something you want to do, so you just do it. And if your partner says, hey, why don't you slow that down a little bit and try to let that hair grow a little bit, because maybe that turns them on, then maybe you've just found a happy medium. Maybe you don't have to shave anymore and she really likes it, or he really likes it, or however, whatever your partner is. You just have to communicate. But if you have a certain thing that you like, do it. Dang. I mean, that's the thing. You have to, we only get one life, right? You have to live it. And if you're constantly worried about your small penis and how hairy it is or not, then, I got to focus on something else.
What is this? Like,
I'm not looking at you. I'm also looking at Ben.
Yeah, but she emphasized, she bold, italicized, and underlined fucking little penis, and then smiled into the camera. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what is going on here? Like, I know we like to beat up on Tom, but god damn, could I have like one thing going for me?
No.
Oh.
Okay, I have to say something to my sweet Therheims. I love you, and your Aunt Polly will be over with the show soon. So
yes, we have got to. I think, how much time do we have left? Like
a couple of minutes,
5-10 minutes. Yeah. So let's go into the landing portion of the show here.
Well, go ahead.
Well,
sir.
go on.
I was going to say there was one other question that I had received. Let's debunk squirting.
Oh.
You want to debunk squirting? Okay.
As far as let's discuss.
Okay.
This I was unaware that was one of the questions we were going to discuss. So I am back on. Let's go. Let's get this done.
Back on. So, for you guys who are not able to see this great illustration that I have, that I'm about to show these guys, there is such a thing called the G spot.
Wow, she's literally showing us an illustration. It looks like it looks like that creepy sex mannequin on 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Listen, because and by the way, while I'm at this, because this illustration is in my Institute of Authentic Tantra Education program training manual, which they just got their certification, so they are now basically recognized as like a technical school in Canada. So if you're ever interested in learning about Tantra, please do Institute of Authentic Tantra.
If you're interested in learning about Tantra and the rules to Canadian hockey, you can do it all at the same time now.
Stop it, Tom. Stop, Tom. I want to say a great congratulations to Davey Ward Erickson for getting that all settled and done. She's
and
amazing.
I don't want it to come.
She's very
No, I don't want it to
knowledgeable.
come across like I don't appreciate him or that it's not amazing. I just thought that was hilarious in my head. Like when you said Canada, I'm like, Jesus. So I got to go all the way to Canada now. Well, I mean, if the
No, you can learn in the United States. I learned in the United States.
so I
But
think
I'm just saying, it's if you go to Canada, you can
okay,
be,
but
you can also
but the
do that.
here's the basis. They want to know
Yes.
is it pee or not. All right, that's what we're looking at here.
Right. Okay. Is
I'm
that what you're
not
looking at?
it.
I thought you were going to get technical and want to know how to do it.
Hey,
So,
whoa.
there
That's the
are-
thing. You tell us. Like we're here to learn from you.
Yes, it's a thing. Okay. So, what you have to do first, you have to get your lady friend to relax. Whether you're in a female-female relationship or male-female relationship, she needs to be relaxed. You have to first, you're going to have to, again, we talked about this, heat up the oven before you put in the turkey. Right.
Right.
Got to relax on that. That's right. So you're going to be stimulating your female partner for at least 25 to 35 minutes before you try to insert anything into her vagina. Period.
Standard
That's a rule.
operating procedure for Tom. So yeah. So
Standard operating procedure. That's right. So what you want to do is you would you can use a toy such as a honey dipper wand. You can find those on Amazon, by the way, or you can just digitally with your fingers feel around as you insert your finger. The tip of your finger should be up towards the top of the vagina, and you can feel a little ridged area. Kind of feels like a walnut kind of ridge kind of area. Not hard like a walnut, don't get me wrong, but when she's aroused, it's going to be a little bit firm. So what you do is you gently stimulate that area, and some women have the capability to express fluid. Now, is it urine? No. But does it come from the urethral sponge and around that area? Yes. Okay. Now, is there still some urine there in your bladder, in your urethra when you express that? Yes. I've read several studies. So, for every one study that says, yes, it is urine, another study says, no, it's not. So, definitively, I can't say, because I've never been in a lab studying urine or, female ejaculate for that matter.
how do I apply for that?
Right? What a great job. What a great
That
job.
would be-
One day we're going to have a science lab and it's going to have all that kind of fun stuff in it. But the thing you have to think about is making sure that whenever you do, like some women are really put off by squirting because you're making a mess, and some women who I've talked to that have the capability to do that, really shy away from it, and it really takes away from their sexual experience because here you are having a relationship with a guy, and all of a sudden you feel like you've peed the bed. That's not very it's not very sexy when you're thinking about it. But then some women just love it. So again, personal preferences and communication about what the expectations are. If you're going to try this with your partner and you want to practice it, because it does take a little bit of practice. I don't think I've known anybody that said, yeah, first shot out the gate, I did it, it's great. But it's important to talk to your partner about expectations and what might happen. Throw some towels down, whatever you got to do.
What you're saying is I can just walk over to my 55-gallon drum of personal lubricant. I can literally dip the entire lower half of my body into that, and then we can go at it, and then within 25 to 30 minutes, we're not going to be able to tell the difference, is what you're saying.
Right. Exactly.
Just kidding.
There you go. All right. Well, you know what, Tom? We should probably be wrapping up. It's been over an hour of some important Q&A with PollyAnna. I think we got some of the pressing questions out of the way. Some of the burning questions, like burning when you pee.
No, that's a whole other episode we're going to have her back for. What happens after you have sex and then you start having symptoms? So
Any excuse to have PollyAnna
Absolutely.
on the show, so
That'll be all day for me tomorrow, just so you know. I'll be talking about burning with urination all day tomorrow.
I can't wait to hear. I can't wait for that text message. Dear Tom,
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all at Just Some Podcast. You can find us on the web, www.justsomepodcast.com. Our email, admin@justsomepodcast.com. PollyAnna, tell them where they can find you at.
You can find me on Facebook at New Neural Pathways to Pleasure. Pleasure Pathways, and also on the internet at pleasurepathways.com. Instagram, I am at Pleasure Pathways. I hope to hear from you guys.
All right. Well, on that note, Tom,
yeah,
I think she's answered a lot of questions for you.
She answered them and actually caused several more. So
well,
that's why I love this.
That happens.
Keep a list of those questions. We'll talk about them later.
I love this girl. So she answered 4 and I got 12. So there you go. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Tom is now more confused about sex than he was. That's great.
Yeah.
I can't wait till his wife sees that big drum of lube out in the driveway.
That's going in the walk-in closet in our bedroom. So
adorable. Can you please put some scented oils in there?
Tarp. Yeah, no. I'm going to tear out all the carpeting in our bedroom, and I'm just lining the entire bedroom and walls in plastic tarping. And then just see what happens. That's what I say.
Yeah. Your son will have no questions about any of that.
I won't let him in there. After we put that third deadbolt on the door, he won't be able to figure it out. So it's fine with me.
Third deadbolt.
Well, Tom, I don't know.
So,
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. What I was going to ask you is now we're going to be able to have this on your Just Some Podcast?
Yeah. So
fantastic.
We will take our live feed.
Awesome.
We'll take this live feed and we will put it up unedited, just like you heard it live on our podcast feed. So you can find us there on everywhere that you download podcasts now: Spotify, Apple, Google, wherever. Tom, I don't know what we're going to cover next week. I'm sure it'll be interesting, but not quite as interesting as tonight.
It's definitely not going to be as interesting as tonight, but.
Hey, can I get some shout-outs? Can I do a couple shout-outs really quickly?
Oh, geez.
Shout-outs to all the wonderful people on Facebook. Hey, listen, and there's an awesome gal, sunshineryan.com. Check her out. Real Glamazon Tayomi. Check her out if you're wanting to learn a little bit more about the BDSM side of things. Also, again, Lori McCracken. Check her out. She's got some great information on body sex workshops. Always, as I always say, educate yourself. Educate yourself. Thanks, guys.
Educate yourself.
Educate yourself. Love yourself. Spend time with yourself.
Right.
Touch yourself. Whatever.
Set up my sacred space with myself.
That's right.
So
That's right.
A lot of myselfs going on here.
You should love that, Tom.
I should. I'm just saying because it's myself. So I'm just saying. All
right. On that note, I hope everybody has a great week.
Hey, everybody, stay safe out there.
Thanks for having me, guys.
No.
Practice swearing just to pass the time. Lately I see why I am alone. I caught some road rage and I thought of you. And all the many times you say I should have known. Took a class so I could find my G. Find mediocrity's the best that I could do. Meant to shower but I slept all day. It takes everything to live the life I choose. Oh, what do you say? I screw up everything again. Oh, what did you prove except there's only more for me to lose? Failure's not the same without you.